Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. I am here with my favorite 6-year-old son. What's your name?
Malachi.
Malachi. So if you have followed along with us before, you know that Malachi has a form of muscular dystrophy called Charcot-Marie Tooth. If you want to look that up, it's CHARCOT dash MARIE dash TOOTH. It's named after the people that found it. So anyway, this is a very real life video, so you're gonna hear a couple kids in the background. So we're doing Malachi's part first because he's gonna then head off to bed. Malachi got the experience this past month to get fitted for some really cool new braces.
Right here.
So he got to pick the colors. So can you show him all the parts?
So there's this inner boot.
This part's like a flexible plastic.
And the one with outer part of boot.
And it has a hinge on it to help his ankle have
a little hinge.
Yep. And then
And one little pimple.
Pringle. So
Pringle goes in here between parts.
right. So this is not officially called a Pringle. A different kind of brace we had a smaller one that looked like a Pringle, and that's what our provider called it. But this actually has some other name, but we still call it the Pringle because it's the protective part on the outside. So these are his really cool braces. He got to pick the color. He got to pick the strap color, right?
Yep.
And then what else did you pick?
I picked what color of the shoe.
So these are called Billy shoes. They are a special company that makes shoes that it looks like a regular shoe, but what's cool about it?
It zips up.
It zips up.
So you just need to get it turned up.
So rather than trying to fit your foot in a shoe like this, which is very hard to do, what it is the shoe unzips. So you can put the brace in, and it just pops in, and then you zip it up, and it looks like a real shoe on the outside, like a regular shoe on the outside. So anyway, did you have a good experience?
Yep.
Did you like your doctors?
Yep.
I'm gonna send him off to bed, so he's getting to tell his part of the story now. What was your favorite thing about the day that we went and got our casting and all of that stuff?
Meeting the national director.
Right, so she has an official title, which I will tell you in a minute, but she's like pediatric excellence person. But we got to meet her on our first day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we met a very nice guy, Scott,
Yep.
from Minnesota.
And when Gail and Maddie.
Right, and we also had Jacqueline the first day, but you might not remember her because she didn't work on your braces. So we went in, they had you walk, right?
Yeah.
They videotaped you. They had you put your braces, so that was without his braces. And they had to put his braces on, had you walk again, like his old braces, right?
Yeah.
Then they went in another room and they chat. And they said, okay, we figured out what kind of braces we're gonna make. What did they put on your feet that first day? Do you remember?
A cast.
They put on a cast like you would get if you broke a bone. Why did they do that?
To see how big the brace needed to be.
Right, so they'd have a mold of his foot. And then they let him pick the colors and everything. We went away for a month. They made the really cool braces, and we went back this past week and got your new braces, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had him put his new braces on. They had him walk, and then they fixed something on your braces. Do you remember what they put in?
Like put it in like a toe thing.
I think they called it a toe pillow.
Lift it up.
You can't even see his toe.
A toe.
So it was a little pad under his toe because they watched him walk and they said, oh, we can adjust his walk by doing this. There is another step they could do, but they need to let his body figure out the walking. And if it's still a problem at the next appointment, they'll put this other piece on called a roller bar or something like that. So anyway, did you have a good experience?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna send him off to bed and we're gonna get on with Samuel, who has more information for you. Okay, we are back. This is not Malachi, he did not grow. So you were just seeing my favorite 6-year-old son. This is my favorite 16-year-old son. What's your name?
Samuel.
Samuel. And Samuel has the same thing that I just spelled in the last section, so go ahead and look that up. But Samuel, we have a whole video on Samuel's diagnosis, but Samuel has very complicated feet. I actually might show you a picture of his feet. But Samuel has very complicated feet, and so trying to make these braces has been a challenge. We've worked with another, like the same company, but like our smaller section near us, and they had just kind of tried, let's try this. Oh, this didn't work. Let's put this other brace with it. And it was very cumbersome and not actually fixing his problem. So it wasn't really helping with the walking. That place near us has closed. It's part of this same system, but they don't have a provider right now near us. So when we went to the muscular dystrophy clinic, it's great. We go see a whole set of doctors, a whole bunch of people come in the room, and they all help us figure out what we are going to need to do in the future. So some of those are like, I can request PT to come in and evaluate. But Samuel had just gotten out of PT because of his knee surgery. It had nothing to do with his Charcot-Marie-Tooth. So I didn't have that. But he had a whole bunch of providers. And one of the providers was a lady named Gail, who we had seen previous times. She's the orthotist at the clinic. And usually what she does is she says, I would recommend this, and sends that to your local hanger clinic on what they should do.
Yes.
And I've been told Gail is great. Like when we were having troubles, people were like, go see Gail, right? So we had a good experience there at the clinic, seeing Gail. And she said, come see me in my office.
And this is Hanger Clinic is the company.
Yeah, Hanger, and there's 950
Yes.
around the country. So Gail is the person who works pediatric out of Portland. We also see Gail at the cerebral palsy clinic, which is what Josiah has, that we go to that. Josiah has not had any braces made by Gail. We've tried some braces in the past. It hasn't worked. If we do decide to do them in the future, we will go with Gail because Gail actually listens. So anyway, if you've had to have lots of specialists and doctors and different things, you know what a pleasure it is to work with a doctor who actually seems to know, like to actually spend time listening to you. Even if they can't solve your problem, if you feel like they're listening, it's great. If you feel like they come in the room and say, how are you doing? And you know they're like, I hope they say they're fine so that I can send them on their way. That's discouraging. Right? So we went to, so Gail's office called to set up an appointment and said, so this was, our appointment was in May was when we came back from Tennessee, right?
Yeah. Wait.
Or maybe before we went to Tennessee. Anyway, we had the appointment. And Gail's clinic had to call us. And they said July 27th. And we said, okay, we'll do July 27th. Then we got a call that said, would you guys like to be part of a pilot program? Because we feel like Samuel has a very unique case and we'd like to see if he could be part of this pilot program. I will let you talk in a minute, don't worry. So I said, yes, we'll be part of the pilot program. Great. And they said, okay, it's going to be like 2 hours of evaluation and casting and everything, because we really want to make sure we make the right fit for Samuel. And I was like,
they did.
that is great. Like, yes, we want to be part of this. We want to help with whatever. So, and we want Samuel to get help. Like, it's nice that we can help whoever and get Samuel help at the same time. So we went down to that appointment, me and Samuel and Malachi and Elisha went down to the appointment for the day. And we had Gail, who works at this clinic, at the office. We had Maddie, who works at the office. I think she's like an assistant. She seemed to be the like runner for things, or I'm going to help take notes, like those types of things. There was another lady from the clinic named Jacqueline who came in at one point. And then we had a guy named Scott from Minnesota, and Deborah, who I'll tell you in a second what her title is because I have to look it up once I have you start doing it.
Sorry, Deborah.
They all evaluated Samuel, and I'll let him tell you that evaluation process. In all of this, we also just got to sit with the team during their lunch hour and we got to just talk to them as like real people and see who they were, and they were a great group of people to work with. So what we found out was that Deborah is working with the company, this 950 hanger clinics. They're trying to make this new program that someone like Samuel, who has an unusual case, can be seen by a provider in small rural Rockport, Maine, and go through this process that Samuel will explain and be able to send that out to get help figuring out what kind of braces and what kind of things need to be done. So it's that the person in the rural community can get the care you would get if you were able to travel to a bigger hospital. So we're traveling an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to get braces made at this place to be part of this pilot program. But we really just got to, they wanted to do this because of Samuel's unique case. So I'm going to let Samuel talk for a minute. I'm going to look for the name of the program and Deborah's title. But go from when we got there and the evaluation, like how the evaluation process went and everything.
So first thing was they brought me into the room, had me start walking back and forth with my old braces, and then with no braces just to see how my gait was, where I was having trouble. And then we talked for a while about what my goals are. So like what I'm trying to be able to accomplish.
Like hike mountains?
No, or run. I wasn't looking to run, and so we weren't looking to make a running shoe or anything like that. And so then they casted my foot, and they were very good with that. And then they made it so I have bony protrusions on my foot, which hurt in my old braces. But they found a way to mold my brace in a certain way so that it doesn't hurt at all. Thank you. And I have had no pain from that, and I've worn it for I wore it for about 3 days straight, and no pain from that. And so then we talked for a long time. They inputted my gait and everything into this program, and then they looked over what would be the best brace for me. And then they molded that. Did I miss anything?
So they wanted to make sure that they knew what kind of brace they were going to be making for Samuel before they casted him. Yeah. So they did a bunch of measurements because they do like your range of motion and everything and his gait and everything. And then they went in a room and talked about what would be the best bracing. And then when they came back, they casted him in such a way that they were even putting like sticks under the cast to like where they wanted an extra spacing for padding and stuff like that. They were very thorough. It wasn't just, let's get a cast of his feet and we'll make something that'll fit him. Yeah. It was very thorough of here's the goal we're looking for. So before we talk about it anymore, Deborah is the National Clinical Leader of Pediatric Care Excellence. That's on the email. And the program that the pilot study is called Stride Logic Care. And so they're doing this whole program. So I got information because we're going to be filling out like our experience with the program and everything. But because Samuel's thing is so unique, and because like his feet are deformed and they're not just a traditional brace that you can put on them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see if I can put this camera down so you can actually see. Could you take your sock off? So when we went to diagnose, like get Samuel diagnosed for Charcot-Marie tooth, I'll put it down to the floor so you don't have to pick your foot up. He took his socks off and the doctor was like, yep, he has it. So we're gonna do a little camera work here to see if I can get it. Okay, so if you can see, Samuel has hammer toes where his toe like folds over. He's trying to wiggle them. He's trying to wiggle them. That's as much as he can move his toes. He has this bony protrusion on the side. He has that on the other side too. Can you kind of stand up so I can see your insole? He's got very high arches. So put your foot like here. So if you can see, he's got a very high, he's trying to hold on. He has a very high arch there. And there was something else I was going to say about your foot. I don't know. You can come sit down.
It busted.
Oh, I was gonna say, can you hold your foot up in front of you and show him? Okay, so
Oh yeah.
show him how much you can move your foot. Like he can't point his
that's
toes.
me lifting it.
And you can't see it from that angle. Hold on, Samuel. We're moving this. Okay, so here's his leg, and you can see his foot.
There, my leg is pointing straight at the camera.
Yeah, he can't make his foot go straight like that.
There
So
we
that's part of the bracing, is to keep his foot straight. So you can see he's got like complicated stuff.
The muscles can't pull it there. You can put it in position by hand, but when I'm walking, I can't just pick up my foot and hold it in position.
Right. So they want someone like Samuel to be able to get the care that he needs. Malachi's case is not as complicated. We still got great care from this team, and Malachi didn't used to like to put his braces on. It takes a long time to put his braces on and everything, and there's a lot of times he would choose not to put them on. From the day that we got them, he has put them on in the morning to go for our morning walk. He doesn't want to take them off. There's no redness or pinching on his legs. They just fit super comfortably. And so we got them Monday. Today is Friday. And today we went to a friend's house that have like a lot of ledge in their yard and like rock wall and everything. And Malachi was like up and down these rocks, which is something he's a scared kid anyway, like doesn't like to try new things, but also he didn't feel comfortable in his own feet. And now the braces are helping him with that. So it was neat to see him moving around on that. Okay, so Samuel, you want to show off your braces and your experience since you got these. So we got braced July 1st, like casted July 1st, and we picked up these braces on Monday. So can you go through the experience of getting there Monday, like the steps that they went through?
So we arrived on Monday, and so we were taken into the room very promptly, and so they just did a little checkup of if everything was still the same, and then they brought in these braces.
Your robot legs.
So they showed me how to put them on.
Hold on, can I explain the robot legs
Yes.
thing? When Samuel was little, he one day saw my dad putting on his braces and had never really seen my dad's braces because my dad wore them under jeans. And he was like, oh, Grandpa has robot legs. And so that's our little joke, that we now have robot legs. Okay, so I'll hold your shoe.
So, yep. So here is the brace, and that is up against me, so just for size. So, first thing I put on after the socks is this flexible inner boot. It's like a gel, and so...
Hold on. Real life. Okay, real life. He wanted to come out and say hi. Okay, I'm going to do this. Are you going to sit out here with us?
Yeah.
You guys stay really quiet. Okay, you go.
All right, so here's the flexible gel inner boot, which if you see here, it's mostly clear, but here's this white padding, and that is for the bony protrusion. And so it is
So if you can
extremely
see-
padded
I
there.
don't know if you can see, but there's like
Here,
a
just so
bump
you can-
here.
right here.
Yeah.
If you can see that, right here is the bump,
It's hard to show on the video.
because just that protrusion sticks out, and then it used to hurt.
So hold on. And so inside, they have all this padding that they made for where his bones were and stuff.
And then this is to adjust it so that my ankle isn't rubbing on the outside weird.
But this they put on after. Like this was the later addition. So when we got there, it was just this clear part and these white pads right here. Go ahead.
And so then you take this, and then here is the hard plastic outside boot, which
It's
this
easier
just
to put on
pops
when it's
in
on your foot.
pretty easy. And then you have basically, like you said, the Pringle thing. And so that slides on right here. And then you buckle the straps to hold it in place. Then the entire thing goes in this shoe,
He has
That-
big feet.
11 wide, that you then slide it in and zip it up.
So same idea as Malachi's for that. So they had you put on the brace that they brought out.
Yep, so they had me put on the brace, and then they had me, I think they had me take it off then and practice putting it on a couple times just to make sure that I knew how to put it on so that I wouldn't rub it wrong
Write
or
it down.
whatever.
Or bring me the paper.
And then
Real life, I have to have someone else do. Bring it to me and I'll do it.
And then they took me outside to the driveway where I practiced walking, and I was having trouble, like,
By
I
the
was
printer.
kind of, it wasn't flowing right, I would say.
Right.
And
So
so-
what was happening was when his foot would go down, he was still somewhat leaning backwards. So he had like a hitch in every step because he didn't have forward momentum going.
And so they thought they would need to put in a little riser, which they did. And so I'll show you right here. You see those little blue pads in the back? And so they raise it like half an inch, which just that little bit made me walk extremely better.
It was, you could visibly tell, like, I don't know anything about how, like, gait is exactly supposed to be, but I could tell, wow, that's easier for him to walk. Malachi, I'll write it because it's
And
a really
so-
long title, so bring it to me.
And-
So,
Yep.
I was just going to say, so they put that part on and then had you walk again, which
Yeah.
definitely changed.
And that made it a lot better. And then my ankle was rubbing a little bit, which makes sense. And they had already, all this stuff they had already thought of. They already had the pads in the room to put on. They were just checking that they were needed. And so they put those in, and then my ankle doesn't hurt anymore.
And they
And
put in
so
posts. We're not really sure what the posts were, but there was something
Oh.
that they,
that was the blue things.
I thought those were the risers.
I
There was
think
a
they're
lot of
called
talk about posts, but I'm not sure what the posts were.
But anyway, the posts were to raise it, whatever part that was, not raised it. And so I walked back and forth multiple more times. They took off my socks because with sarcomery tooth, you can't feel your feet very well. And so there could be weird rubbing spots where it would normally hurt somebody and could be causing damage, but I wouldn't feel it. And so they took off my socks and checked for any redness, anything that would cause concern.
That's a really good point because we've been to other places with other providers, and my dad had braces for many, many years. I've had braces we've dealt with lots of providers, and a lot of times when you get fitted for braces, like when they put your braces on, they're like, okay, walk the hall a couple times. Does anything hurt? Okay, like go home. They don't actually like every time, okay, we're gonna take your socks off and we're looking for damage on your leg. So that was really good.
Yeah, so that was good. And then Malachi was second, and so I then was walking around more outside just to check before we left that nothing was hurting, and nothing did hurt.
You were able to do you were walking outside on
Yeah,
different
I was
terrain.
walking down a slight hill, which if you've seen me walking before, that's hard. And then on some rocks, the raised rocks. It improves my stability. I was able to stand still for a very long time without shifting my feet, which if you watch other videos where I'm standing still, my feet are constantly moving just to keep myself balanced. And so
That's why when you see me make videos, most of the time I'm sitting because it's very hard to stay steady. If I'm standing and talking to someone at church, I'm usually leaning on a chair or against a wall or something for stability because it takes a lot. You don't realize how much effort your body puts into staying balanced until you don't have much balance, because I'm always readjusting my feet, always like sidestepping. And he is too. So go ahead.
And then there was no pain, and so let me think, was there anything else that they did on the braces? And then we got pictures with them, and I'm sure you'll post those.
We're gonna post pictures. It was funny because they came in the room partway through, because this appointment took 3.5 hours, which was super great, but I didn't realize it was gonna take that long. Because with our experiences before, the provider says, put your shoes on, walk a couple times. Is anything hurting? Good, go home.
They just jumped from start to end, none of the middle stuff.
Right.
They actually did it thoroughly the right way.
Yeah, they did it thoroughly, and they showed us in the videos. What they're trying to do is to get you to what they call an A gait, right?
Which is, yes,
A-stride gait.
Which is basically if your back foot is resting flat on the ground and you're taking a step, if your heel is then meeting the ground, you want that to be the shape of a letter A.
Like if you were to put a line between your knees, it would be an A, like a perfect A.
And like heel hitting the ground first instead of flat foot hitting the ground, stuff like that.
So when they were doing this gait video, they were like looking frame by frame to get the foot on the ground, the other foot about to strike, to see if they had an A gait. And that's when they would be like, oh, no, we need to put the riser in. Or, oh, no, we need to do this.
It was amazing how they were able to look at the video and be like, okay, we need to put in this little thing to fix my gait.
So if you see Samuel walking now compared to walking before, and we are getting some gait videos, but I couldn't find them on the email. So they might be there. I might just not know where to look. But if you see him walking now compared to before, he already walks much smoother. They are giving him time to adjust to the braces because Samuel's body, so Samuel has Charcot-Marie-Tooth, but we also believe with some other knowledgeable people that he has Ehlers-Danlos, which is a connective tissue disorder. And so because his body does not hold itself in balance correctly, he's very hypermobile in some ways.
Yeah,
But he has very tight muscles in other ways because his body's trying to hold all the muscles together. So he's got very tight hamstrings, which is the muscle on the back of your leg. And so they're waiting to see if walking more properly than he was able to walk in the other braces help with the tightness of the hamstring. And if it doesn't, there are exercises, PT, possibly an adjustment to the braces, but they didn't want to adjust anything else until they've given his body a little time to work out that tight hamstrings. But he's walking so much better already.
And like we were talking with friends today, and I walked for them, and they quickly noticed the difference.
Yeah. So we highly recommend our specific team that we had. They were wonderful. We can't wait to see them again.
Gail Fitzmaurice, she's the one in Portland.
She is the worker in Portland. If you were to contact the Portland office through your doctor's office or whatever, Gail Fitzmaurice is the woman down there, and she's just amazing by herself. But then we're super excited to be part of this pilot program because we know there are kids like Samuel who need the extra attention to detail. Because for some people, you can slap on an over-the-counter brace or thing that's going to help them. And for some people, that's not the possibility. And that's not Samuel's possibility. And to be able to have that level of care, being able to go to the rural areas is super exciting. So we're going to write up things for the program. They gave us like a place we can tell our experience, but we wanted to make a video for all of you to know that this is a great opportunity, and that it's been a blessing to our family. The whole experience has been a blessing to our family. We will see them again in a month. I think it's a month for a follow-up, and then a 3-month follow-up, and then a 6-month follow-up. The boys' braces will last 9 to 15 months based on how fast they grow. So that will be reassessed at these different appointments. So it's 1 month, 3 month, 6 month appointments. And then we'll go. Sermon. Sorry. They were asking what's the next thing to listen to. And so, yeah, that's all great. So anything else you want to say about the experience?
No, the team was awesome because it wasn't just, all right, let's just work on this brace and we don't care about your gait or whatever. They're trying to help with my feet not hurting, my gait getting better, me achieving my goals, all that kind of stuff.
So we're going to show you some pictures here at the end, so I'll explain what they are. There's a picture of the boys with not these boys, sorry, this is the wrong one. Malachi and Samuel that you just saw with the team. And so there's 2 people on one side, like 2 ladies on one side. That is Gail, who works there, and Maddie, the assistant or whatever. And on the other side is a man and a woman. The man is Scott from Minnesota, and Deborah for the pediatric care excellence. In that picture. There's also going to be a picture of our whole family with most of the team except Deborah because she was taking the picture. There's a picture that I love of Gail with Malachi and her intent look at him and his intent look at her. They were truly interested to hear what the boys had to say and how they could help them. You could just feel and see the attention to detail and the personal touch that they were putting into it.
I mean, when I was getting casted, I had 2 or 3 people working to hold the cast in the exact right place so that the brace would be formed right. I mean,
they were like holding
an
angles
awesome
on it
team.
and everything. There's going to be some pictures here and possibly video of the boys walking because we did lots of different walking at different times. And so Mark's going to put a whole montage thing here at the end of different clips that we have. But we hope that you enjoyed what we had to say about it. And if you are someone who needs care, I hope that this program is going to be in your area soon. So we will see you guys next time on... You want to say goodbye?
Bye.
We'll see you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God.
Bye.
You want to wave?